So, we're just going to revisit what we did yesterday. You can see I pulled this out. This was all dead impacted cuticle skin here. And if you can see that I pulled that skin out, there's still some shreds of dead cuticle there. And when that comes out, you can see under there, this frozen nail was on top. This was all packed with dead skin. Please stop, Brandy. You don't have to yell about everything. Stop. So this is where either that's nail bed or nail material is squeezing out down there from up under here. This is dead skin. This is discolored skin. This is brown and yellow stained dead top skin. These lumps under here are dead cell material. This stuff, now that I'm breaking these nails loose and they're moving out, all of this accumulated, backed up dead skin and cell material under my skin is starting to move out. It's dumping out onto here. This nail was just covered with crud that had emptied out under here. Dumped out onto the nail. I was able to just scrub it off. This, if I get this in hot water, take a shower, this will get rubbery here, and it will just, I'll actually be able to just rub it off with my finger or pick it off with a fingernail. You can see this stuff now. These nails, the overnails, a number of nails have come off. When a larger overnail comes off, you can see where it has pushed out on the cuticle, and there will be more cuticle and layers of cuticle underneath the nail until we get down to the very bottom, to the nail bed. All of this is going to have to come off, and these successive layers of cuticle just reveal as the nail scales back and comes off. This is the cuticle line, around here. And this is all flubber. This is all dead callus here. All of this pretty much will just go away. You can see that this is obviously all just dead skin, right? That's callus, right? I'm not going to really pick at this. But let's see if I can show you anything quickly. And this is newer material. This is pink. You see that nice plum pink color. It means we're getting down close to living tissue. This is layers of skin that are scaling back. You can see that, how that roughed up. That's dead skin. That's why it did that. That's why it flakes like that. A loofah, that's just why people who know what they're doing use a loofah, a rough sponge. Takes this dead skin off. It'll peel back on its own. There's no telling how much of the surface layers of skin will have to come off, but this is all just a big rubber callus. It'll peel off. Underneath here, I think, in the right light, you can see that there's there are lumps of dead cell skin material under there. We won't get into that. But this, all of these lumps here would be filled. This junk is just dumped right out on them, and then it washes off. And in a couple of days, these nails will try to start to level out. They're broken back now inside this cuticle line, and they're not overrunning it anymore, but there's cuticle up underneath there nonetheless. These are still more and more and more layers. Each cuticle is continuous. It's like a rubber band. It goes all the way around. The nail is supposed to cover it out here, but only slightly. And this is way too much stuff. So this is all a vast accumulation of dead skin. I pulled this out. This was all full of skin up to there. And the side of the nail looked pretty straight, which is the way it's supposed to look. But actually, when the dead skin comes out, you can see that it's not quite right under there. And that is either nail or it's cuticle skin that is the nail is overlaying. So we'll just give it a little pick at it a little bit and see if it, that was, looks like it may have been cuticle. Hard to tell. That might be nail. But the skin was over it. The skin had formed over it, like that, whichever it was. That may be actually nail. So when this comes back now, try not to cut myself. Yeah, that may be nail. We may be getting actually somewhere. For a long time, this was just cuticle. And well, maybe it is. It is probably still cuticle. Yep. So that's cuticle. This will pick out. See if that's not nail. It's getting hard to tell. We're down. We're actually breaking back. We're starting to get back to the bottom of the pile of trash. What are we doing here? So that's all dead, that on that outside curve. This was all full of dead. That was a dead crescent of cuticle skin. It was just a hard crust. I just picked it out. This, when the nail got trapped, when this cuticle material built up and up to the point where it started to overlap the nail, and then this cuticle wrapped over it, trapped this corner of nail, and it wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. It'll actually pull the nail down there on that side, and it'll flatten out like that. It may be because I was biting the nail on this side, but at any rate, that's why the skin is here across, and it goes up and back around in a more normal shape here. So, again, just picking at this all day. But you can see that that's just more and more and more of that. See, this is all just, that's going to bleed if I'm not careful. You can get close to living tissue sometimes, even though I've been doing this a while. Come on now, stop auto-focusing on me. But it's not tight anymore. I used to pick up a little thing like that, and then I would try to get it with the forceps and pull it, and it would pull out from underneath or behind and under the nail all the way back around. This is just more of the same here. A chunk of skin came out right here yesterday, left this void. If there's junk up under here, the nail material, when it comes out, or the nail when it forms, it'll leave a void in the nail where this junk was up under here. It just makes a negative impression of whatever was up there. Over time, you'll start to know what you're looking at. If you get into the, come on. Oh, what are you doing this? Hey, what is going on? Autofocus has decided to go nuts. So that's just a mess there. But the good news is, if this is broken out and this stuff is emptying out from under there, see, this is all dimpling. These dimples were full of chicken fat up until recently. This is just a dirty fingernail here. And this is not worth picking out. There's probably, I could pick a whole thing of cuticle out from under there. This is scaling back right there. You can see that. This is just nicotinous dead skin here. It's discolored. And you can see this nail is sunk down now in this cuticle material. what I'm actually excavating it, and this is now like a stack of. It's revealing the stack of nails here that are piled one on top of the other. And what happens is when you bite, the cuticle dies, and a new cuticle forms underneath. And the dead cuticle, that if it doesn't come out, it's pushed up and up and up against under the nail. The nail material wants to try to come out and cover all of it, and it keeps making more nail and more nail and more nail, and you keep biting, and you keep killing cuticle. I have to pinch this up so that won't autofocus on me. But now we're actually getting down there. But this is all bogus. This is all dead skin. All of this here, I could take this and just peel it off if I wanted to, you know. As dead as it could be, right? This is why you see people, they'll have a dirt line underneath the nail. That dirt is permanently caught up under there because the skin formed, or the cuticle just embalmed it in there. You can never wash that out until you go back and take it all out. What did I do? Dig some turmeric out or something? It's probably a spice. Tea, probably tea. This 8.8 magnification lens is really incredible on the phone. You could probably check for occlusions in your diamond with this thing. Next year it'll be a mass spectrometer or something. We're back to where we started with, where I picked that out. If this nail sheds, and this stuff sheds, and all of this, but all of this skin has to go away, and then maybe I'll get new nails. But right now, this is just all junk. Junk that's got to come off. Don't be scared. This is not scoliosis of the nail. This is just the result of biting your fingernails. That's all it is. And you just start digging it out. Let's see what we got here. See this nail was complete. I've got a picture I took of this nail a couple of weeks ago, and the skin. The skin was all the way up to here. And it was all the way around in front, and it looked like a little pebble or something that was pushed down in there. And then it had all this crud on it. Well, all the crud had come out from here. And there had been a top nail on there that looked normal. But now I've peeled off some more skin and more skin and more skin and more cuticle. And the layers dropped a little bit. And it's not buried like it was. It's re-emerging from where it was embalmed or trapped by all that. And you can see how that cuticle overlaid that nail and trapped it like that. That's where I bit it, on that corner. It flattens out the nail there, and it changes the shape. It's not the right shape for the nail. This is an overnail, a side nail. This is just not supposed to be there. It will all just pick off right there. The sides of the nails are supposed to be straight. They're visually, they can look right if the skin just grows over it like that. And if you use your little push stick and you keep it all looking like it's supposed to, it'll look like it's supposed to be. But if that cuticle is glued to the nail and the nail is not moving, then the dead skin is and dead cell material up under here. This is all dead skin. All of this brownish cast, this is all dead skin, and all of those lumps underneath, that's all loose material that's piled up under my skin that wants to get out. It's what's supposed to make the nail, but there's not supposed to be a huge understock of dead skin material or dead cell material up under the skin in your fingers. It's supposed to come out on a daily basis. and make new nail and travel off and get trimmed off. It's waste. But if you let your nails, if you don't do regular nail maintenance, if you let your nails get frozen in there, then you're going to see this kind of damage. This junk is just going to bottle up in your fingers, and the fingers are going to puff up and puff up and puff up. This is the same thing. This is nail material that's formed to cover where I bit my nail off. And you see where I bit it off right across there and around. And this is all just layers and layers and layers of dead cuticle skin in front. All of that will pick off. All of it will peel off over time. If we're back to the nail bed, I was picking this out from underneath stacks and stacks of dead nail. They're stacked up like pancakes. Now, I've actually scaled most of that stuff off. I've freed the nails enough. Several large overnails have worked loose and come out enough to start to break up. And then all they'll do, I was confused by it for a long time. And finally I realized I was seeing the outline of the nail that had been there before. They weren't actually moving off. They were stacked up. I thought I'd free it and it would just move off. You know what I mean? The whole thing. I didn't realize that it was one nail would scale off and the next nail would scale off and the next nail would scale. They're stacked. And then when you have some severe damage like this, the nail material is very plastic, and it'll make material to cover the nail bed. And then a whole new, just like putting on a wax coat, it'll just create a new nail on top of all this stuff. So we're getting down there now, but we still have tons and tons. See how I can pull that away? For a while I was doing that, and you could get under there with the knife. And I would pick it out from under there. But now there's no more under there. I think I'm pretty much down to the bottom of the stack of the nails. I must be getting close to the nail bed anyway. But it was pretty dramatic. I could pull a hunk of stuff out from under that stack of nails, and it would leave a giant void in there, and it was clear that the nail was lapped out over, way out over, all of this mass of dead cuticle material. And it was actually very tight and compressed up under the nail. And that's why, it would be, the nail would be this flubber, which is all callus, and the nail would be all the way out here, and it would look pretty normal. The nail would be right there, and the skin would be right up to it. The thing is that if you peel there's no nail bed under there. So if I'd cut the nail all the way back to there, all that would have happened was all of this extra flubber would have just rolled right up like that in front. You don't know what you're looking at. See, and this is spread too wide. This is where it built up and up and up, and the nail material started to escape its natural boundaries. And it leaked out over, and the nail gets wider and wider and wider, and it goes oval. So if your nails are oval instead of actually being naturally straight on the side, not defined by overburden or skin, your nails should be straight on the side. The nail, not covered with skin up to there and make that look straight. See, if the skin was back up to that level where it was before, then that nail could look perfectly normal. It's like a skim coat would come out, and all of this would be uniform. It would be level and shiny and smooth, and you'd have a little white crescent on the front, and underneath it would be all these stacks and stacks and stacks of dead cuticle. Each one will form a new cuticle. It's all one piece. A new cuticle, every time you bite through the cuticle, it dies basically. And it stays right there. It doesn't go anywhere until you get rid of it. See? We're actually getting somewhere now. So now the trick, the next stage, I thought, I've thought several times I was getting close to the end of the road here. It's always a voyage of discovery, Pretty evil. Actually, to see all the damage you've done and to know that it's still there. I mean, it never went anywhere. It just got covered over, like waxing down dirt, on a floor without cleaning it. Sooner or later, you have to strip it. So I could dig in there and get that. But this side nail, this is really thick. And when you look at it like that, you'll see that it's like V-shaped, because as it starts to build up and escape, then the nail works out this way. So where it was in here close, then the next nail will be a little wider, and the next one will be a little wider, and it'll wing out. And this will actually be wing-shaped, V-shaped here. And the nail material in here, if you got a cover nail, a big, beautiful cover nail, way up here, up there, then this piece in here, the nail will actually be thick, too thick. It'll be triangular. And it's something that's been created by you letting these nails stack up and then spill out. And the nail will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's frozen there. It's not doing what it's supposed to do, and it's not allowing the waste to get away from your body. And I myself don't know how toxic this material is if you bottle it up inside. Now you just see that. Look at that. See how wide that is? Even though I've scaled this nail back to here, and you can see this cuticle material here, you can see that this nail overlaps the cuticle. See, this is what happens. It pushes up underneath, and the next one will come out a little wider and a little wider and a little wider, and the next nail, it'll start to cut into here, And when one of these big honking nails, which is just completely bogus, breaks loose, you get all the cuticle material broken loose, and you separate the cuticle from the nail may come out like 1/8 of an inch, and then this nail will start to break up. It's unsupported. And then you'll see that the nail is actually cutting into the cuticle. And it'll leave a giant void sometimes right here between that and the back. Sometimes there's quite a hole back there when the nail moves out, because no telling. If there's cuticle between each layer of nail or every other nail or every 10 or whatever, then there's no telling that the nail is going to shed rather than fracture on a fault line, and part of it will move and part of it will stay. You just have to dig it all out. So this hurts still quite a bit. There's impaction in this corner. I haven't yet managed to get under there and trim that, And I haven't wanted to, because it's easy to cut yourself in there. See? See, but that nail, that wants to come back straight to there. And all of this is creating a lot of pressure. For a long time, there was damage here. There were pieces of broken nail that I left when I tried to bite it, and I didn't manage to pull it out of the nail bed. I left a hunk. It just embalms it and goes on. All of that stuff is still there under your beautiful nails, under your beautiful manicured nails. And if you have a little dry crust of skin around like that, if you have a red semicircle, if you have a red circle, if it's light pink color like that all the way around your fingernail, or if you've got toenails where you've got a little nail like that that's buried in skin, this is all dead skin. You see some people, they have these tiny little toenails, and they look like they're sunk down in there. They're completely surrounded with skin, and they're just embalmed there, and all of this stuff, just like that, is bottled up under the skin up there. And it doesn't stop. It just keeps forcing junk into that bag until it erupts. It comes out somewhere. I've actually seen people that had a nail that was arched up, and you could see this white granular material under the nail. And it's this junk from up here that's actually forcing its way out between the top nail, which is dead and frozen, and maybe some of these other stacks of nail or the nail bed. And it's just channeling through there to try to get out. And it'll show a picture of it on the internet, and you'll see the nail arched up, and then there'll be all this junk like this, only very granular up under there. This is all dead skin that I picked off my hand yesterday. And it's more, and the next layer is drying out today. This will come out. This is just another layer of dead cuticle, which I don't really want to pick out right now. But you see, this damage now is starting to go away. But until you pick it all out, this was a big, beautiful thumbnail. And it was covering this. And I mean, it was much wider. It was. And you see the red. And the dark is, that's dead skin. This is a layer of dead skin. My top layer of skin wants to erode away. And under the skin is all these little bags of dead cell material that may be toxic, bottled up in there, affecting your health in other ways. But your nail is supposed to be free. You're supposed to keep it pushed loose. And your cuticle here is supposed to be not dry, but flexible and living. And you see people who know what they're doing. This is very flexible. There's clear definition. It rolls right around, and there's none of this crusty stuff built up like this. Is that right? Look at that. Now, why is this not working right today? Some days the autofocus works right, and some days it doesn't. Some days you feel like a nut. So you see that's scaled off. That's just another, that's a top nail, kind of a composite. Good grief. I'm going to stop. This is not working right. Not very helpful. Come on, guys. That's not going to help. But you see, that's dead. I get in there with this tool, and I can pick that. And when this is, I can scale this off. This is just junk that's coming out now from under here. It's been bottled up there behind these frozen nails, and this is all dead skin on the front, and I can just take that and scale it off. Don't be afraid. It needs to go away. You need to stage it. You don't want to peel it all off at once. So you can take it layer by layer. But you see that, that's I'm not doing damage there. That's just actually dead skin. So that'll peel off and peel off and peel off, and all of this will go away. And hopefully, all of this junk underneath my skin, see, that's not dirty skin. No, that's dead skin. That brownish yellow cast. If you look at, if I get it far enough away, I don't know if you can even see it there. But here, this is, and this, this, it's gravity works too. This is, there's more of this material now on the bottom than on the top. The top is breaking up. Some of it's moving straight out. This stuff will move around. You can see this now. And my skin on my fingers is getting dimply. This, I've taken off so much dead cuticle material that it's not possible that this whole area from here to here is cuticle. That's just not possible. So there's maybe this much cuticle right there that's all dead and impacted and whatever. I'll continue to pick it out until I pick it out. But this hood now, this is just dead skin material that when this was empty, this was like a void. Right here, this was a huge dent. I mean, it was like a deflating balloon. And in a day or two, more of this loose material will move down and it's jamming up behind here. So when this breaks loose, hopefully, and this moves out a little bit, I get these more of this dead frozen nail and over nail off of here, then this junk that's piling up behind here, it will move off just like on this little finger. That's just all crud. And on this little finger, that's all stuff that just came out from under here and landed right on top of these nails. It's different in the beginning. You can actually see in the nails where the cuticle grabbed the nail. Or it'll grab and release. It'll have lines across. Or you'll see people that have nail material, and it's the cuticle. You can see where the cuticle was covering the nail up to there, and then it broke and cracked, and it's just like it's elastic, a rubber band that's been pulled too far. And it'll bust loose, and it'll leave either a line or it'll leave a little fragment of dried skin across the nail, and it'll start to retract. It'll come back, it'll pull back from it. And then if you're paying attention, you'll start to see a little bit of what's going on. But usually this is dead skin material or cell material up under here, all of this, under here. I still don't know. I'm getting old, so I don't know if my skin on my fingers is going to stay baggy now because it was stretched out like that for so many years. But the skin being elastic, it may actually tighten up and start to look more normal instead of having old, wrinkly hands. But the other thing was really interesting. Oh, this has just occurred to me the other day. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, geez, this is pretty small. You know what I mean? Some of these now, from going from having these huge honking nails, that were just out to here, out to here on both sides, right? And way out to here, and, pretty good looking. I'm getting back to where I'm trying to figure out where the nail bed is. And it occurred to me, if I started doing this when I was 5 years old and it froze, and all of this has been impacted and tight and just building up and stacking, layer and layer and layer and layer, and I'm trying to reverse that process now. But when I get down there, what I may find I have is a nail bed that is the size of a 5-year-old child's nail bed. It's like arrested development. My nail bed may have never had a chance to grow when I grew. That nail bed stayed the same size as it was when I was biting my fingers when I was 5 years old, and all that crud got impacted and frozen there. So I don't know if I'll just have small nails, if my nail bed will grow to where the body is incredible in that it knows its program. And it seems to will want to go back to what it's supposed to be if you stop impeding it. So I'm hoping that if my nail bed is abnormally small because it never had a chance to grow, when all of this pressure and all of this overburden is relieved, maybe my nail bed will actually get larger. Grow, swell. And the nail will be one coat of nail over the nail bed. It'll be the right size, and it will look like a normal nail. It will not be abnormally thick. You see these people, I always thought they were beautiful. These big, thick, beautiful nails. If they have a brown cast or an off cast, or they're not clear, or you cannot see the color of the nail bed, which should be probably pink, through it, then that's a dead nail that's just frozen there. People do not know what they're looking at. This is a frozen over nail here, and it will flake off. I don't want it to, because this might actually expose. It might be a little raw there on that edge. Just going to wait. There's no junk on it. It's already washed that off. Like I say, this loose stuff up under here, when it rides out, as soon as it gets out and touches the air, then it wants to gel up and form nail. But it's a big pile of junk. It's just piling out. So it's not really going to. It's just sitting there kind of loose like this. And if you stand in a hot shower and get it all, it'll actually get gooey like gelatin. And all of this will get rubbery. And you can take a cuticle brush and just, instead of flaking it off, just scrub it off. Same is true on your toenails. If you got dead skin that's coming out over the back of your nail, kind of just like a thin layer of skin laminated to your nail. If you take a cuticle, if you take a scrub brush, a fairly stiff brush, and scrub that skin, that dead skin will just scrub off. And this material that's coming out from under here and just landing on the nail and riding out, it's not substantial. It hasn't really formed nail. You don't have to cut it or anything. You just get it hot and it gets rubbery, and you can scrub it off. Let's see. I'm sorry. I haven't been doing a good job of getting the light right. It's been a real problem. I'm sorry. I know this is lousy, and I wish I could do a better job. But it's kind of a case of moving on genes, you know. You just have to keep moving. My object is to fix my fingernails, not make videos. So, but I do hope it helps somebody. The point of this is just to help you see what you should have been seeing. Once you see the damage, you can go ahead and freak out then. Later.